Hello Internet, welcome back to Space Engineers Rail Survival, lucky episode 13. Ow. Yeah, so lucky episode 13. I happen to also be recording this on a Friday the 13th. So I'm sure everything's gonna go great. I have run out of silicon again, as you may be able to notice by, actually, especially in this fog, that really looks greenhousey. Like, that looks like the structure you'd then run, clear plastic over. I think it's gonna look real good when it's done. But yeah. It's actually... Oh, no, lights. Okay, no. There are lights. We'll have some light. But yeah. Greenhouse, close to done. Got these doors as I intend. I did, and some eagle-eyed viewers in the last video may have noticed that the thumbnail version of this looked nothing like the version that I built. Well, not nothing like. It looked like the version I built but colored, where the one I built last episode was not. That's because I painted it pretty much right after I finished recording. I was like, I want this to be colorful and fun. So I painted it, and that makes for a good thumbnail. So here it is. Yeah. Got all the plots built. I've got some nice dramatic purple growing lights going on them. In fact, turn my lights off and you can see it's a very moody greenhouse, especially during a storm. Pretty sure it's night as well. But yeah, so we're pretty much ready to rock. The only issue is I can't grow stuff with the windows not built, because it will all die. So I need to go get more silicon, but needing more silicon reminded me I'm probably doing this whole thing backwards, because I have silicon over there at a pre-mined thing that I want to pick up with rail. I have to now drive my truck over to get the silicon when I could be using the train. So I think what I'm going to do, I am going to drive over and get the silicon, but I'm going to shift back. I may do a little bit on the greenhouse just to finish it up because it's already here. But we need to get back to trains. Ow. Specifically, I need to weld this line so it is done. I want to finish the end too, so it's actually, so I can hook up a something down there, fill it with nickel, bring it back. That's what I want to get done. That's my goal for the short term. I won't say do it all today. Yeah, I want to get all that welded so this is done, so I can focus on what has to go on the other side, which will involve, first off, building out my yard. I currently have 2 tracks, and I have an easy way to switch between them, which is handy. But I've done a lot more thinking on it. Realistically, I don't know why I'm having to turn my lights on and off twice. Yeah. Realistically, this system is going to be a pain in the butt to use. And I should, using similar analytical techniques I used to get the distance there, I should be able to find a balance to make a switch that goes in the more traditional, where there's a straight line and then an offset. Because if I can do that, I can do a more traditional sort of rail yard dynamic that it's hard to see because it's dark. But I'll have that line, a line here, 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 and sort of a branchy curve thing going out to each. Now, there is also the step in this process of train is dead. Yeah, so I somehow completely forgot when I built all this, probably because I don't use these mods usually, but I forgot that this train is hydrogen powered. Hydrogen does not produce more power than it takes to refine with the mods I have set up. I specifically did that because I theoretically have infinite hydrogen. So how I've done this train doesn't make sense. I shouldn't be refining ice on it, because that doesn't actually work. So it does have tanks, and I can use battery power to refine hydrogen to make power. It's a net loss, but I should be able to grind all the small batteries off, replace all of them. That'll give us enough juice to fill the tanks up a bit, get it moving. Then I need to design... I need some way to connect to it anyway, because I need to put steel plate in it. So I'll design somewhere for it to go where I can fill it up both with materials and fuel. And that way I can fuel it properly, and the O2H2 generator will essentially just be a little Kickstarter. But step one of this process is head off and do a little silicon gathering. So let's do that. We should be good. Have a little road snack. So this will be good too to see just how much silicon we have over here, because it's been quite a while since I last visited. These things, they should just kind of run forever. Or at least until they fill up. But I don't know how quickly they fill up. I don't know, you know, realistically if they actually keep running when I'm not here. This is not a great road, I have found, but we made it. Alright. Oh, also, well, that won't tell me. I think this thing is still full of parts, so hopefully we have enough room for everything. Oh no, I cleared it out. That's good. Oh. Huh. Well, that's less good. Apparently I left this off? Why'd I do that? Huh. Well. Okay, there goes that plan. Right. I'm just gonna go verify if the cobalt... Is there one at the cobalt? I don't think there is. I think I've only built 2 of these guys. Well, either way, we will, leave that to do its thing. I want... Ooh. Well, no, the ones at the base don't need to be turned on. I wonder if there's something where, like, maybe it's distance related that keeps the, like, turns the things off if I am too far away. Oh, yeah. There's nothing here. There is this unknown signal. I mean, we might as well. Oh, yeah, that's... We'll have to see how much we can get just letting it go now. That is not super convenient, but we'll get ourselves, well, we'll get welded up, get the train working again, then that should give it plenty of time. Maybe I just finish the greenhouse off camera. You know? Something about the branding on this meal does not make me inspired to eat it. Fun to find, I suppose. That sounds like a storm. Probably a radiation one. Yep. Well, that's a pain. I mean, it would only be useful right now. But it could be kind of handy to build like an enclosed engine shed for these sorts of events. Though making a door that will work with the track would be tricky. Actually... now we can put power in this guy. Ow. And I probably... realistically, I should have probably done this, after having some way to connect it to the base and get it fuel on its own. But I didn't do that, so here we are. This should be enough power to kind of... it doesn't take much, this thing, in reality. I mean, wheels are pretty power hungry, but... you know, it's not like it's hovering in flight. So it's better than that. And it doesn't have any ice in there, so it's not processing, so that saves some juice. Okay. Let's go inside before we're killed. And I guess while we're here... okay, iron drill is on. How much iron do we have? We've amassed a bit, which means we should have... I forget, it's like 5,000... no. We have 2,000 steel plate. I have no earthly idea how much we're gonna need. I betcha it's more, so I'm gonna go ahead. Let's close this. Keep ourselves comfortable. Let's go ahead and up the amount of material we're doing. So, steel plate, make it 5,000. We will not get there with the amount of iron we have, nowhere close. But that should get us on our way. And just while we're here, and we're doing pretty good for components, partially because of the auto crafting. I have stuff set to a reasonable level. What do we have? So we have a bit of nickel, but that should be enough for anything we'll need. Cobalt is low. So that's not great. We probably should have hand mined some while we were out. We have a lot of gravel. That's not very useful. Pretty much no other material, though our iron doesn't come into here. At least the iron ore doesn't. Okay. Looks like that storm is done. So, we're best to have a little refueling thing. Maybe... still lightning-y. So the track is pretty far from here. I'm just gonna kick that back on. We've got a fair amount of fuel, but might as well be gathering more. Now, I think the best spot for a refueling boom will be over here somewhere. And I could... here's an idea. I obviously have these pillars as support. I could, if I cut out this one, stick a little pipe under it, still supported, but now I can run out and that may be kind of just at the right height. May not be, but... Okay. Stick this guy on here. Then I need to run some piping. Yeah, that's not gonna work. In fact... Okay. That connector is gonna be just a little too low for anything I can do. What I'm gonna have to do for the base end, but it's not that. I'm gonna have to sort of swing it around like so. And I think what I'll have to do on top of this is build a... in fact, I may... this all may be temporary, but I think I'll put a cargo container out here for easy access. But on top of this container, I think I'm going to have to convert to small grid for the connection to get the heights correct. Here's an idea. If I... Yeah. Now, if I had steel plate, could pop one of these guys in. So that's there. If I then... kind of... Let's see how silly this will look. Because I don't necessarily want my connector dangling all the way down. I should have enough clearance everywhere, but it just feels wrong. So maybe with a hinge... That might be the right height. Let's see if this connects. With this hinge here, I should be able to rotate it out of the way. Gives me a little bit of clearance. And then when I want to dock up, I can. All right. Yep. Yellow. All right. Do I have controls in the other one yet? Yes, I have welding. Welding makes sense. I also want switch lock and 3x3 hinge reverse. So now, yep, docked up, engine's running. I should put a engine controlling event controller on here, sort of like I have for the truck. That way it doesn't just kick off running whenever it likes. And something I wanted on here that I haven't done yet is a little ladder. I think can go here. Oh yeah, and that's perfect because it's with the hinge there. It's not the lowest point. I can still access it from the ground, step up, and get up to this level where I can walk along the edge of the train. Which I may make look a little more intentional. Yeah. Nice little walkway. And get over here and hop in a control seat where the engines then turn on. Let's set this stuff up. Yeah. Good bit of area light, just to kind of see what I'm doing. Alright. Well, that is the train done. The welding train. I'd say now... how much steel do we have versus how much can we fit? Okay. So, 2,000 steel pretty much only fits in... Well, one of our 3 containers barely fills up. Huh. Do I... Oh, that's not food. That is. Do I head out and... Do I build a thumper at the extra iron mine? Oh. It's tempting. Do I have enough stuff to build a thumper? If I have enough stuff ready to go, then I think it's probably worth doing. That's not how I'll find out. Yeah, it's probably worth doing just so I have easy access to more iron. I can choose to run a train from there or not. But it's out there, it exists. I might as well make use of it. Because 1 thumper worth of iron, even just running constantly, really doesn't get me as far as I'd hope. Dang, if I remember... I think each one... I don't remember if I had a battery at the thumper stations. I may have, but I'm not sure. I think this is enough. Do I have all of these parts? Looking good so far. I don't have enough motors. Am I building motors? Eventually. Yes, I'm very slowly building them. How much? 126 nickel. Okay. I should have enough, it's just slow. My assembler does have... Yeah. My assembler has speed modules. I think the issue is still iron. Okay, we'll use a little trick here. Yeah, so I still need motor... I need motors for everything. I don't even have enough to get part of the stuff down. I'm kind of tempted... I could go and do a manual iron run. Get a bit kind of up and ready. And then do the... use that to finish off this stuff. How much room? I have half of this container. Probably get annoyed before then. I don't really want to drive back and forth. Here's maybe what I'll do. So that's the sorter. Let's turn the sorter off for a minute. Disable all of that except for those. Because I was also using a bit of iron for all this other stuff. So this will make the motors a little quicker. Maybe I just wait. Okay. This is what I needed. On blocks, yeah. And this one is a... okay. Let's see what what we're looking like now. All done. All right. Let's go ahead and turn this guy back on. Get a few things worth of that. We'll go build a extra iron mine. A thing I did not think I would ever need. Well, if nothing else, this should create some interesting track positioning I'll need to do. I can also see... no, it goes off back that way. I was curious if I'd fully leveled it out. I don't know if the drills can deal with an air gap. So like if I've mined under it and put the drill right up here, will it detect iron? Maybe we test it. I'll double check. I'm like 80% sure they don't tell you what they're over. I did this last episode and I can't remember. I think you have to be able to turn it on though and just see what comes out. At least with this version, it's possible that a different branch of this mini branched mod does different stuff. Okay, will that be enough to eke out? Nope. Fine then, I'll build the rest. Oh, okay, it's thumping. Please be iron. Stone. Dang it. Though it's right here. It's not over here. Okay. I think I've got an idea here. Should have enough for another one of these guys. If I stick that in the ground, that tower is static, so I can just move this around.
Full.
Darn weird placement of modded blocks. And that's not in the ground. That probably is, but it's too low.
Inventory
Hopefully,
full.
if I can swing it around to this side, it'll be over material enough to work. I mean, I don't have to grind all that down and rebuild it a few feet further up the hill. I didn't get to do my little test I was trying, but whatever.
Inventory full.
Okay, will this be high enough I can access the conveyor? Maybe just. Okay. I can turn it on. Iron. That works. Alright, well. Got that going. Do I... In fact, I've got that going and it's kind of right over... Nah, it's covering that. I don't know. I don't know if it can work with an air gap or not. I may go ahead and hand mine just a little. So I can get this going, but At least now I have a quicker source, so I should be able to just swing back by and grab iron. Alright. So, 10k iron. I think on my way back I will swing by and pick up the silicon. Whatever that is. It's probably been running about an hour at this point, so hopefully there's a good amount there. Oh yeah. That's a good amount of material. Get ourselves closer to the hole. Oh, wait. And brake. So, okay, when these things are running, they do pretty good. So that hopefully means next time I need some extra iron, I'll have I just drive over there, load it up, drive back. And we'll see. I really probably should hook that iron up to the rail line when the time comes. But maybe I don't. We'll see what I do. Because it is extra, and realistically, once I, have everything built, I don't need... I guess the reality is either I don't bother hooking it up and always drive to it, or I hook it up immediately. It's the next thing I try. Because realistically, I need the iron from it for building all of what I'm building. Once I'm done building, I have enough iron for, I think the working concept right now is that I'm going to just like sell excess material. Maybe see if I can find a surface trade station and build a rail line over there to, export. But, yeah, I don't need a ton of iron for just that once it's all built. So maybe it's just a little extra bit I can drive to. That means the truck stays more useful for longer, which is nice. I can be driving a truck while running trains. So yeah, either way, it's good to have a large amount of extra material, and hopefully now we can do some productive stuff. Well, it's definitely producing quickly. Out of curiosity... Well, no, these are going to be speed modules. Right. The iron was going up quick, but that's because I had bulk iron. This thing just produces little bits that pretty much get instantly eaten. The only way I could improve this is with gold for yield modules. I still don't have gold. At some point, I may build a little, like, scout helicopter guy. Specifically with the intention of going out and searching for iron. Or not iron, for gold. Because that's pretty much the one material left out there that I need, that I don't have access to. And it's proven tricky. I imagine there's some here, somewhere. But I've yet to find it. I'd love to fill up all 3 of these containers, but I don't know if I will. Realistically, I probably didn't need 3. But, the sizing worked with the trucks. Let's go ahead. Let's do this actually from out here. Not out there, though. That'll work. I just, partially for weight balance and partially for semantics, I want to put everything in the middle container. But we have 3,000 steel. Slap it in there. And it gets taken. What was... Oh, I don't know how to designate in the goat sorter for things not to be taken. So, tag for connectors. Ignore the attached subgrid except for stock containers, reactors, and O2H2 generator. Which I assume means my tanks will work. So I need no sorting on this connector. Like so. So now I should be able to drag everything in and it won't be stolen. Yeah, seems to have worked. Nope, dang it. Okay. Maybe I have to do a recompile? Or maybe it gets weird because the connector's on a separate subgrid. Oh, well, that goes to the connector. I want that. You're gonna steal my steel? Yes. Okay. I don't think that works. So, there was another command. Tags for containers. So, let's talk about with that. Ignore when counting items. That's not what I want. Locked, I think, is what I need. So, ignore given inventory completely. Alright. I've also renamed it, so welding train cargo mid for middle. Locked. Now, will the steel stay? Took it a while last time, but I think it is. Sweet. Okay. Now the sun is up. It's prime welding time. Let's get going. So, unlock. Move our connector out the way. On we go. Realistically, I might as well. I have a control for manual welding, but I might as well just turn them on and forget about them. I do like my little catwalk. It's useless, more or less. I mean, obviously I'm using it, but it's not mission critical. I could operate this thing fine with just a little jetpack juice. And it just feels so much more, again, more real walking along it. Alright. Welders. On. And we are welding. Okay, I went a little fast, but that's why we have the second welders. That's not why, but they help. Okay, we've welded around an angle. That's good. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff around that isn't getting welded. I will have to come back for any supports. All of these guys with, well, the switch areas have a bunch of stuff. But yeah, we are welding. Slow going. That I will admit. But it's gonna be. How are we doing? Ugh. So we've used about half our steel, and we have made it 100 meters? 150? 200? I don't know. Not very far. Well, that's actually... I took a different shot, but that's a cool shot too. We'll run this out, drive it back, and then by then the silicon should be done, so maybe I can finish the greenhouse up, and we'll end on that note, because I don't think I'm getting all of this built today, but it's good that we're making progress. And actually, I mean, going at this speed, which seems to be about right, where the second welder does the finishing touch, this isn't too bad. If I can get all 3 containers full... Oh. Okay, well, we're now out. But yeah, if I can get all 3 containers full, it'll have some long range to it. I think this thing could work. We do only have 5 minutes of power when we're moving. That's less ideal. We have a ton of hydrogen, though. So that's just running batteries. I don't think our engines are... No, they're outputting.
Inbound.
They're just... I think I just have a lot of fuel. Oh, yeah. Okay, so 5 minutes is not accurate. I have hours worth of fuel on board. Which I think works out pretty well. Oh, God. That would have been horrible if the track got hit as I was starting to weld it. It's my biggest fear. Yeah, I think we got... Nope. Hit the wrong thing to brake. I think we've got things going pretty well here. Let's see if we can't finish off this greenhouse real quick. Well, crumbs. Apparently 11k of silicon was not enough for glass. God, glass takes a lot. Well, I am going to go over here and end this episode on the train, which yet again I've managed to put the interesting place to stand on the wrong side of it for the sun. So there we go. I'm very good at balancing. Yeah, that's where I think we'll end it for today. We have made some good progress. It's sort of little progress, but we're doing welding now. We're actually getting the track finished. I think next week we are going to... we'll see what happens. Hopefully, next week, I have the greenhouse done. I'll start with the greenhouse done. Have this segment of track mostly done. So we can do the sort of cargo connection at the other end. Storm ruining my outro. But yeah. Next week we'll work on the cargo connection at the nickel, and then hopefully get the switches built for the main yard so that I can have room to move stuff around. Because if I have the ability to like move this train out of the way, all of a sudden I can start running actual cargo. So that's all in the future. For now, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other stuff I've done, and until next week, bye-bye.